Hey everybody, just thought I'd take you for a quick tour of the top shelf of the Tortoise table. I'm, of course, a huge fan of tables. We're joined here by my favorite girl, Dash, and my favorite boy, Scooter. These two just seem to peacefully coexist. There's no biting, ramming, or too much mounting, I find, and maybe one day they'll breed, but for now they just seem to coexist and do their thing. I've had them together now not that long. I did a extensive quarantine upon Scooter's arrival. He came from a less than optimal setup and his beak was overgrown. He isn't exactly the smoothest of shelled tortoise, but we love him anyways. Hopefully we can achieve some smoother growth moving forward. As you can see, I have tried to adjust humidity with these guys. Things were a little drier this morning, so I'm only reading in the 30s range. But I don't get too crazy high humidity with these adults. I kind of just aim for around 50-ish. And with a quick tour here, I'll just kind of show you some things I enjoy to have around. I have a little pencil there for recording weights for my tortoises. The old Dustbuster vacuum is a must. The Shark cordless, for the cheapest I could find possible, it really helps for when you're doing the churning and things get a little wild and you get a little dirt on the floor, soil I should say. And then a little brush for if you get some soil in somewhere you don't want it to be or want to clean something. I find a couple brushes are super handy to have, even for the water dish or to clean off things that just gets traipsed everywhere sometimes. It's part of the game. And then some fly paper. If you ever get a smell, I find hanging a fly paper up is a good first step. As you can see, we got these two adults. They are chomping on the dried feeds I have laid out for them. I typically just toss some stuff in there every day and pick up any wasted, toss down daily that's looking a little gross. I maybe could be tidier, but it's not something I fuss over about. A feeding slate and a terracotta pan I find are two must-haves to try and contain the food and keep the soil away from it. And some stones to clamber over. The clambering over of the stones. I like stones bigger than their head. I never want to risk your tortoise, my tortoise, ingesting a stone. That isn't that great for them. I just like to avoid all vet trips if at all possible when it comes to my pets. Unless it's health needed, of course. Kicking around here, we have the old laser temp gun. This thing here is just so handy. I just absolutely love it. If you want to check a tortoise's shell temperature, check your cold end, check the heated floodlight spot, it just doesn't stop. It's so handy. I could talk about it all day, honestly. Inside my water, I always toss in a stone for some traction, for some grip. I just would hate to hear a story of someone drowning and you have, the bigger they get, it seems the less you got to worry about such a thing as that. But it's something I've practiced since I got my tortoise. It's something that I support fully. Of course, clay pots. I love clay pots. It allows tortoises a break from one another. It allows them to pick their UV gradient. They never rot. They never break down. They remove excess moisture out of the soil. And kind of, I think they air things out as a form of humidity. I love clay pots. They're just awesome. I have different sizes. Some are broken pots. Some, really, they encourage digging. I'm a full-fledged supporter on $3 clay pots versus going and spending $30, $40 on a Haba hut or a log bridge. Those, they just seem to break down and mold and create gross smell and get drug everywhere. They're just, in my opinion, pet store garbage, to be honest. What else can we talk about? The handy dandy fly paper holder and a tape measure. I just keep a tape measure around here all the time. I'm always measuring something or building something or tinkering with this. Checking your light hanging heights. We'll get into that more in a moment. Though the trusty watering can cannot go without this. Just absolutely love it. I use it, keep that dust down, keep things the right humidity, water those plants. It just, oh, it's seen gallons of water, I'm sure. Calcium and Nutriball, alternating days these days, as recommended by my friends at Tortoise Addicts UK. You can't over calcium feed, I don't think. A light dusting daily is all you need, and some cuttlefish available at all times. I'll point out some cuttlefish here in a moment. Scissors for products, for pick and poop, for you name it. I like them. You can use them. They're good. They're always around. The Churn Master 5000. I've spoken about this lots. I like churning. I don't like dirt underneath my nails. For a guy, I don't see myself getting a mani pedicure. So it's just, I love it. I love these little hooks that I scooped up at the dollar store. Spare lights, I keep them on hand. They're a must-have. They are always kicking around. I always have spare lights, excess lights. I never deal with the idea of going without for that topic. It just, we have a 100-year pet. We have time to plan. These little, I don't know what to refer to them as, is dial thermometers. They're not accurate. They come with beginner kits. I let it lay there because it reminds me of where I started at and now where I'm at. I don't use them for actual temperature recording. Here we've got spare. I use that for draining out my dried weeds when I rehydrate them. Fill the cup full of water and drain them out. This cup here, oops, it dual purposes as also a tortoise weigher for the weigh scales. Put the tortoise on the cup, put the cup on the scale, and after you zero it out, and you now have a way of positioning your tortoise without escaping off the scale very quickly. Cheap digital thermometers and hygrometers, they're not that great. I'd really like a mercury-based thermometer. It's on the to purchase list, we'll say, as well as a old-style radial. Radial's not the word for it. Hygrometer, mechanical hygrometer. I'll keep you posted on that one. As always, we have our spider plants. May some of their bits rest in peace. I find lifting them up there allows for that stomping space underneath. It encourages digging into there. These tortoises are more than capable of lifting those entire pots up. They are so strong. Scooter, my boy here, saying hi again. He's only on his 900th lap of this place today. He is ready for the outdoor pen. There is no doubt. My only regret with this space is I didn't go 4x8. I need 3x6 is limited as best, and I truly want to expand on the long term. So up here to lighting, we can speak about, I love flood halogens. They work great for heating up a broad area of space. Look at that light exposure, how large it gets to. You can see that is so nice with these guys to heat a broad area of space. I use the 100-watt halogens. Anything that I can find, the cheaper the better. They last me a while. I use a 150-watt holster, and these things deem to live quite a while if you are gentle with their cords. I use these, just a chunk of hay wire wrapped around there that allows me to up, raise, and lower it. This here spins as well. It allows me to move the heat if necessary, as my enclosure is always changing in slight movements, it seems. It just, what you gotta do, it works for you. UVB, I could talk about UVB all day. I am a big fan of tubular UVB. It covers such a broad space. Look at that covering of area versus a combination bulb. Maybe one day I'll do a rant about the combination bulb video. Why do I like tubular UVB? They last 12 months up to 18 months if you have a tester that can prove that they're still good. That's something I'd like to purchase as well. I hang this at 22 inches above shell height. There's a little bit of a gradient of soil and things in here. So they're hit with a range of UVB, I find. Covering half to 3/4 of the enclosure size. This one is 3 feet on a 6-foot table, so it is covering half. That's the 39 watt Arcadia tubular UVB T5 as shown here. It's the desert style. It is just simply amazing in my opinion compared to other options out there. I've had really good successes with these. I've only had one out of I think like 6 burnout in total. They're all last full years between Dad's Redfoots and these Hermanns here. As far as tubular UVB goes, there's nothing handier. We have a spare few bread tags, we'll say, and those there I use for marking the power ends. So if you ever want to unplug, adjust, remove, do whatever, it's easy to know which one is which with a quick mark with a felt pen. I really appreciate everyone coming by and staying tuned for my little tortoise talk. Here we got some cuttlefish bone. They just love it gross. It seems the soil don't seem to bug them one bit. They chomp on that. The grosser it gets, the more they like it. It's always available. They touch to it when they're ready. Yeah. That's all I can think of today, folks, to touch on this upper level topic. I really appreciate anyone that takes the time to view this, that shares the group, that invites others, that makes posts following the group's intentions and rules, as well as just being a part of it in general. Thanks so much for watching this first video. I hope they get nothing but better from here.